These are my 𝗦𝗃 LP6s. I've been using these for years, both in mixing metal songs on this channel as well as songs for clients. And I mean, you can probably tell by the amount of dust that's on them, how long I've been using them. And while the LP6s are an incredible value, these might actually be the best budget studio monitors on the market. I just found myself wanting to downsize a little bit and also maybe get something with a subwoofer so it has a little bit more bass response, you know, so has more balls. You get where this is going? What's up everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Taylor and I've been looking for the best monitors for mixing metal for a while now, you know, without spending thousands and thousands of dollars. And like I said, I've been using these LP6s with great success for a while, but I just found that it was like time to change it up, you know, time to try something new. And the nice people over at Sweetwater actually had a suggestion for me to try out, so that's what we're gonna be doing in this video. This video is sponsored by Sweetwater, and if you want to treat yourself to an awesome new pair of studio monitors, you can use the link down in the description below. Helps out the channel, and I love you. That got weird really quick. But there is a link in the description and it helps the channel at no cost to you, so it's a win-win, right? Okay, so here's the LP6. Let's get out the new speakers. This is the 𝗦𝗃 IN UNF system, and what are we doing? Let's take it out of the box. I see YouTubers do this all the time. What the f? Oh, there we go. The 𝗦𝗃 IN UNF system is a studio monitor system, and you really need to think about this whole package like a system. The subwoofers and the satellite speakers all work together, and it is designed specifically to sit on your desk. According to 𝗦𝗃's website, your desk is actually incorporated as an acoustic member of the system, and reflections from the drivers to the desk to your ears are accounted for, giving you a perfectly clear picture of your mix that you can rely on to translate well. The IN UNF system consists of three main pieces: the base unit and two satellites. The base unit houses two high excursion 4.5-inch subwoofers, as well as the amplifier and other electronics for the system. The two satellite orbs house the same coaxial mid-range and tweeter as 𝗦𝗃's acclaimed IN5 and IN8 studio monitors. And these are meant to be sat on a desk and pointed directly at your face. And they sit on these large silicone pads that helps control the vibrations that go into your desk. And because of their spherical orb nature, you can really point these things right at your ears, even if you were sitting very close to them, which is nice. The IN UNF system features 320 watts of Class D power, a low frequency response of 39 Hz, and a max SPL of 103 decibels. The base unit also includes the IN UNF's inputs, including a USB-C input, which connects directly to your computer and supports 24-bit resolution and up to a 48 kHz sample rate. You can also connect this to the main monitor outputs on your audio interface using the TRS jacks. There's also an optical connection and a 3.5mm connection as well. On the other side, we have a sleep-wake button. We also have a volume knob, and since the base unit is meant to be sitting at arm's length, that volume knob really comes in handy with its placement. On this side of the base unit, we also have our power switch and our outputs for the satellite speakers. These satellite speakers are meant to be positioned in a very specific range from the base unit. You can see these configurations in the quick start guide, and 𝗦𝗃 also includes these little templates for helping you set up your speakers so you don't have to get out, you know, your measuring tape or whatever, which I thought was really clever. You can use the system with the base module vertical or horizontal if you wanted to put your monitor on top of it. Just don't put your laptop on top of the base unit per 𝗦𝗃's manual. And just like other 𝗦𝗃 monitors, the IN UNF system features dip switches for different listening positions, different trim levels for different frequency ranges, and something that I thought was kind of cool that they put on this system, you can actually turn sleep mode on and off with the dip switch this time, rather than having to open up the monitor like on the old 𝗦𝗃 LP6. Now, I find monitor reviews really difficult to do on this channel because I like to show the things and just show you the raw, unprocessed tones and let you make a decision for yourself, but it's very difficult to do with monitors because how do I translate that to you over video? You know what I mean? So this is the way that I want to do this in this video, and we'll mic this up in like a listening position, left and right. So if you are using headphones, you can sort of get the idea what the differences are between the two monitors. However, I know that's not the most scientific way to approach it, but I just want to give you like some sort of frame of reference, you know, other than just my words and me talking at you. It's weird, you know? The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a workstation here with my laptop, and I'm going to mix something that I previously mixed with the LP6s, so that way I have some sort of baseline, and then I can give you my critiques and my opinions and all that at the end of the video. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, I'm at my desk now and I have the IN UNF system hooked up to my laptop here. I actually found out that I didn't have enough vertical space on the cabinet. You do need a pretty decent amount of vertical space. I will put on the screen how much, but you do need a decent amount of vertical space here. Now, it does come with these like placement card template things when you're hooking everything up, which is really handy because it was very simple to just set those things down and then know where the speakers go. And then from there, you just kind of point the speakers at your face And then, yeah, they're set up. We are hooked up directly to the laptop. We are not going through an audio interface, meaning that the IN UNF system is actually its own audio interface. So that's kind of like a big perk. Like if you're just looking at studio monitors and prices, consider that this does have an audio interface built into it. Now, with that, the caveat is there's no inputs. So you'd still need an audio interface if you wanted to like record or whatever. But if you're just mixing, you know, this would do the trick. Yeah. Okay, let's turn this guy on and see how things sound. I haven't actually listened to anything through these monitors yet. I just got them hooked up, so I am interested to hear what they sound like. So it's actually asking me right now if I want to connect to the Kali IN UNF. I'm gonna go ahead and allow that, and then let's go into our audio settings here and make sure this is selected as our device for sound output. And then I'm gonna use Apple Music. I know, I'm one of those guys, but I'm gonna use Apple Music here to listen to something. This is a song that I just released on Apple Music, Spotify, you know, wherever you listen to music. Let's listen to it. Okay, so right away, my impressions are that there is so much low end that I did not hear when I was mixing this song. There is quite a bit more low end information with this system. And if you were worried about this not being loud enough, it is so loud. Like I can't have it up halfway, it's just way too loud. So there is more than enough volume with this system. Okay, so now what I think I need to do is I need to mix this song on this system and then give you like an A-B of how the mixes came out on each, especially now that I can hear a lot more low-end information. Pay attention to the low end, and let's see if that changes at all. And then also, we will A-B the same reference track through each of the speakers, and hopefully that gives you some sort of idea of the difference between them. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I just got done remixing this song on the IN UNF system. And before I start listening back, there's a few things that I noticed right away, and we'll see if that translates into the mix. But with these speakers, everything is much more separated. Like, I can hear the individual instruments and details much clearer in this system really than any other that I've tried before. So that was an interesting thing, number one. Now, like I said before, I can hear a lot more low-end detail with the IN UNF system. But another thing that's really surprising is the amount of high-end detail that I can hear that I didn't notice initially. When I started remixing the song, one of the things that I noticed was the high end was kind of shrill. And like there was some harshness in there that I had to dial out a little bit. So let's A-B them real quick and let's see if you can hear the differences. Okay, so I think those mixes sort of illustrate what I was talking about. Now, I was using the same plugins, the same like mixing template essentially. I just readjusted everything. I remixed it with the IN UNF system. So there's nothing else weird that's going on there, nothing else I could color the judgment, but it is a super subjective thing because it's just mixing on one pair of monitors to another pair of monitors. Again, it's not super scientific. So what I want to do now is I want to get a couple of microphones and I want to put them in the listening position, like approximately where my ears are. Again, not a super scientific method, but trying to convey these differences to you through YouTube. This is what I got. So hopefully this helps out. All right, let me explain how I have everything hooked up here. I have my Kali LP6s on these monitor stands. Now these are in an equilateral triangle for my actual listening position here, and I have these microphones set up as close to the approximation of where my ears would be and where they would be pointed at these speakers. And then I have the IN UNF system down here hooked up the same way that we use the startup guide to hook it up. It's the same listening position, so these are supposed to be closer to you as opposed to the LP6s, which can be a little bit further away. I have all the little EQ dip switches set up the way that they're supposed to be set up according to the startup guide. Now I just want to make this super clear. I'm not doing this as a test to see which one is better. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just using this as like a baseline to give you an idea what the differences are, so that way you can make an informed decision for yourself. You know what I mean? Okay, so quick impromptu idea here. I just got done tracking. Tracking sounds like a weird thing to say, but I just got done with this whole setup here where I have these microphones pointed at the 𝗬𝗍𝗔𝗡 speakers, both sets of 𝗬𝗍𝗔 speakers. I actually have my first ever pair of studio monitors. These are my first monitors ever. They are 5-inch two-way 𝗦𝗍𝗘 speakers. As you can see on the bottom, they are rear ported. So, you know, that'll be an interesting difference, but you know, why not? Let's hook these guys up and let's see how this compares to the other one. I kind of want to do this for my own morbid curiosity as well. You know what I mean? So let's just hook it up and see what happens. Okay, so this is very interesting. Just in my observation, listening to all these back to back in the room and just kind of like walking around the room, I would say that like the 𝗦𝗍𝗘 monitors sounded the most neutral to me. Like they didn't really have a ton of high end or low end clarity. They just sounded very like neutral and sort of flat a little bit by comparison to the other speakers. Both sets of 𝗬𝗍𝗘 monitors really have this like very extreme clarity in the high end, where you can really hear separation of instruments in a way that's just obvious when compared to the 𝗦𝗍𝗘. I'm really glad I got out the 𝗦𝗍𝗘 speakers for this comparison. And then I would say the IN UNF system, the thing that makes that the most interesting and different from the other two is there's so much information in the low mids and the low end. Like there's just, I don't know, it's very thick sounding. And take this with a grain of salt because this is just me walking around in the room. We're gonna listen to these right now back to back. I'll like cut them up and play them back to back, show you on screen what you're listening to. So I will normalize everything so volume isn't an issue, but the fidelity and what these speakers actually sound like in a room is gonna be probably like impossible to capture and translate over YouTube. This comparison is just trying to illustrate the differences that I just noticed between all these speakers in a way that's not just me telling you, you know, I'm trying to back it up with something here. Let's see if I'm right. One more thing that I want to do here for my own morbid curiosity before I like remove this from my desk. I actually want to take the subwoofer and put it on the ground just to see what it sounds like. They warn you in the manual to not do this. If the thing blows up and burns down my house, I'm insured. I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I just think it's not optimal. I think this is designed to sit in a very specific position in relation to the speakers to give you like the best bass response. But I'm just curious, you know, what happens if we put this on the ground like a normal sub? Okay, now in the name of science, let's listen. Okay, the reason that I wanted to test this out, correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen anyone else do it. The subwoofer is pretty large and it has to be in like very close relation to these speakers, which might be a little bit constricting for you. So I just wanted to try putting it on the ground like a normal subwoofer and see what happened. You know, to be honest with you, I expected to put it on the ground and for the whole thing to just kind of fall apart. The sub frequencies just got a lot boomier and these speakers got brighter. So maybe like me, you've been looking at the IN UNF system and just wondering, you know, what happens when you put that sub on the ground? Can I use it that way? The answer is, you can, it's just not ideal. summarize, I think the IN UNF system is very cool, but it's also for a very specific person. This system is excellent for those looking for very detailed reference monitors, but also needs something that doesn't require much depth to hear accurately. What I mean by this is, as the name implies, these monitors are ultra near field and meant to be used at arm's length, which is where they truly shine. Now that doesn't mean that they sound any worse at a distance, and when I was recording the comparison between the three monitors, I actually noticed that the bass buildup in the far corners of the room were very similar between all the monitors. As a matter of fact, the further I got away from the LP6s and the IN UNF monitors, the harder time I had telling them apart. But when up close and trying to listen to those fine details, the UNF speakers really punch well above their weight and their budget. One of my favorite things about the LP6 monitors was the detail in the top end, and I always knew that if I could get guitar tones to sound right with these, they would translate really well to other speakers, and I would say that's even more true with the IN UNF speakers as well. However, there are a couple drawbacks that might steer you toward a more traditional pair of monitors, the obvious one being the subwoofer placement in relation to the small orb-like speakers. On most computer desks, this is going to be in your prime real estate, and if you use a monitor arm like me, then at minimum you're going to have to reconfigure your desk setup. Now you can use the subwoofer laying down and stack a monitor on top of it, but I just feel like the optimal placement for the sub would be under your desk and out of the way. And while it does work, it does come at the cost of that clarity that I was just praising. If that is an issue for you, then I would have no problem recommending the 𝗦𝗘 LP6s if you have space for them. They are also incredible studio monitors that come in at an unbelievable price of $398 for the pair. Both of these systems have dip switches that help you calibrate them to your room, but the UNF takes this a step further by giving you external control of your sleep timer, as well as the light around the 𝗦𝗘 logo. Nice. Now, the type of person that I think would benefit the most from this system is someone who wants incredibly clear and accurate studio monitors, but doesn't have much depth to work with and works primarily off of a laptop. With the UNF system, you can easily put your laptop in front of the sub, especially when it's in the vertical position, and have the orb-like ball monitors close to a wall to save space. This is even better if you need an audio interface for playback, but don't need any inputs. Like maybe you're a mixing engineer or producer making beats with samples, something like that, then your audio interface is built in and you don't need to take up any more desk real estate that is already occupied by the UNF system. Alright, shout out to Sweetwater for sponsoring this video. Shout out to all of my patrons. I could not do this without you guys. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you really like what I do here on my channel, consider joining my Patreon. There's a link for that down in the description below. And until next time, bye guys.